Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB podcast and today's the 29th of July 2026. Now unfortunately guys, the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market has marginally fallen down, and the reason for this Satoshi is pretty simple. Later on today, I believe at 10 PM Gulf Standard Time, the FMC announcement is scheduled to take place, and only because of that, a lot of notorious traders, high net worth individuals as well as whales, they are cleverly trying to manipulate the market according to me, and only because of that, the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market has marginally fallen down. So I'm right in saying Satoshi. Later on today, I believe at 10 PM Gulf Standard Time, the FMC announcement is scheduled to take place, and after that, once again we'll be experiencing some volatility in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
That's right, George. It seems like we're seeing some strategic movements, especially with potential volatility coming up. It sounds like the market is holding its breath for those data releases. Listeners, we'll keep you informed as we delve deeper into what these numbers mean for the market.
We definitely will, Satoshi, and as a matter of fact in today's episode, we have 5 macro level news. The first is probably the most important one, and this is connected to Clarity Act. And here's the thing guys, looks like the Senate members, they're pushing away the date for Clarity Act, but in today's episode, we'll go and take a deep dive into what the Clarity Act is, and we'll also go and discuss what the latest update is. But it is also important to understand guys, there is a very high possibility by the time you're listening to the episode, things would have drastically changed, and hopefully changes for the better, and the act does actually turn out to a law. So regarding Clarity Act guys, I'd really urge you guys to go and look at constant updates, cause look, news such as this directly will be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now the second news Satoshi we're going to be talking about is connected to Brazil, and this is more connected to stablecoins and cryptocurrencies, and looks like the IMF, they are not fans of stablecoins and cryptocurrencies, so we'll go ahead and take a deep dive into what the IMF stance is, particularly regarding Brazil's stablecoin, and they've kind of issued a warning as well. Really interesting news in my honest opinion. Now the third news Satoshi is connected to Twitter or X, and Elon Musk guys, he wants to make the platform an all app, and the news essentially we're going to be talking about is connected to X Money, and we'll go ahead and discuss, has X Money actually gone live, and what are the states that are going to be impacted because of this? And look Satoshi, according to me, this is another brilliant move by Elon Musk, so we'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about, and I thought we'll also go ahead and discuss what are the features and benefits of X Money. Now the third news Satoshi we're going to be talking about is all the way from Argentina, and this once again guys is connected to stablecoin, and looks like Satoshi Argentina is working on peso stablecoin. Really interesting update. Now the final news Satoshi is in the world of tokenization, and Kraken, which is one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, they have tokenized Jersey Mike's. Really interesting development, isn't it? So looks like at a macro level Satoshi we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, isn't it, in today's episode?
It does seem like we have a packed agenda, George. We're covering the evolving Clarity Act, significant IMF concerns about stablecoins, potential shifts on Twitter or X, Argentina's work on a peso coin, and tokenization with Kraken. Quite a bit to keep our listeners updated on.
We definitely have quite a lot of things to update to our listeners, and like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast Satoshi, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Do you want to tell our listeners Satoshi, what are the 2 news you're going to be talking about? The first is connected to Tether, isn't it?
You're right, George. Tether's gold-backed digital asset, XAUT, has received Sharia certification, which opens it up to Islamic banks and institutions. And the second news is about the UAE launching a fully integrated AI-powered judicial platform. Both pretty big developments.
Now regarding the second news Satoshi, it is important to note that the Abu Dhabi Judicial Department, also called as ADJD, they are working in collaboration with Doge, but this Doge is Department of Government Enablement, and this news according to me is probably one of the first in the entire world. So it looks like the Abu Dhabi is definitely leading the front, not just in the Middle East, probably in the entire world. Really interesting news in my honest opinion. So it looks like Satoshi we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode, but before we go ahead and do that, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look guys, whether you're looking into invest in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what guys, they have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, Choose your preferred asset category and let the Mana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Mana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Mana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part guys, once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Mana for you. So what are you waiting for guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code Blockchain DXB. And Mana guys is all markets one app. Next guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right guys, palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrency is all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock guys is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025 as well as ETH Women. And look guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life, so don't just read about it, be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website that is www.amt.tv and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet, and this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you're taking care of that, let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and run through the global cryptocurrency market. Now look guys, I cannot stress this enough. Later on today at 10 PM Gulf Standard Time, there's going to be a FOMC announcement, and based on the FOMC announcement, the numbers will drastically change. So what I'd really urge our listeners to do is make sure you go and look at official information. And the new federal chair, that is Kevin Walsh, he will actually go live via YouTube, and more importantly Satoshi, he will also give his reasoning as to why they have decided to keep the interest rate, reduce it or increase it, and based on that, I'm pretty much sure the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be impacting drastically. Now that thing being said, Satoshi, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, since the last 24 hours it is down, and right now it is at $2.28 trillion. And what is really worrisome along with the volume of decentralized exchange is also the 24-hour volume of cryptocurrency market, cause look, since the last 24 hours, the transactions is only at $64.5 billion. And here's the crazy thing, Satoshi. Because a lot of transactions are not taking place in the world of decentralized exchanges, it just means one thing. A lot of people since the last 24 hours are literally dumping a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because if you look at the volume of decentralized exchange, it is only at $6.83 billion, and the total fees connected for these transactions, guys, is only at $63.33 million, and the total value lock, guys, is consistently on a downtrend in 2026. Since the last 24 hours, it is only at $75.67 billion. And crazily enough, Satoshi, since the last 24 hours, we're also seeing outflows in the world of crypto ETFs, but thankfully these outflows are only at $1.8 million. Now look, Satoshi, these numbers will drastically change based on the FOMC announcement, isn't it?
It definitely will, George. The market is clearly bracing for that announcement, with the decrease in decentralized exchange volume and outflows from ETFs. It suggests a lot of participants are choosing to wait it out, and that total value lock trend confirms that. We'll have to see how those numbers react afterwards.
Now let's do a hypothetical situation, Satoshi. Let's say the FOMC announcement, if they decide to go ahead and increase the interest rate, keep it the same or reduce it, what are the likely three outcomes? And do you want to tell our listeners what is the connection of the decision to that of the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
Well, hypothetically, if they raise interest rates, that could generally strengthen the US dollar, making borrowing more expensive, which might put pressure on risk assets like Bitcoin. If they keep them the same, the market might gain some stability, though immediate bullishness isn't guaranteed. And if they reduce rates, that could weaken the dollar, potentially pushing investors towards riskier assets again. It all depends on how the market interprets the reasoning behind the decision.
You're absolutely spot on, Satoshi. Thank you so much for that. But here's the thing, guys. Whatever we're saying is not financial advice. Make sure you go out and do your own research. Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on in the world of decentralized exchange? And I'm talking about the top 5 platforms. So do you want to read out the matrix of the top 5 platforms in the world of decentralized exchange for our listeners, please?
Sure thing, George. Leading the pack, Uniswap is seeing about $2.20 billion in 24-hour volume. Next up is Pump with $803.21 million, followed by PancakeSwap with $656.79 million. Native is at $608.56 million, and Aerodrome is recording $444.70 million. That's the current landscape according to those metrics.
And here's the thing, guys, since the last 24 hours, the volume of stablecoins isn't looking that great. Tether USDT is only at $56.56 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, but its 24-hour volume is only at $10.81 billion. But surprisingly, Satoshi, if you look at the volume of FDUSD since the last 24 hours, it has definitely picked up a lot of pace, and right now it is at $441.88 million. So I'm really curious to check what is going on in the world of FDUSD. Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners the market cap of Bitcoin, what is going on since the last 24 hours, and also the dominance? And why don't you do one thing? Do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Not a problem, George. For Bitcoin, the market cap is currently at $1.28 trillion, with the 24-hour volume of $26.04 billion, and its dominance is holding strong at 56.40%. Regarding Ethereum, the market cap is $231.07 billion, volume is at $12.79 billion, and dominance is 10.20%. Finally, for Binance BNB, the market cap is $75.93 billion, trading volume is around $1 billion, and its dominance is about 3.33%.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. Now look, every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at one new matrix. Yesterday, we looked at coins that were made in China, isn't it? Today, what I want you to do, Satoshi, I want you to run through matrix that is connected to US. So why don't you tell our listeners the matrix regarding top made in US coins and what is going on since the last 24 hours, and also read out the matrix for the top 5 platforms, please.
Certainly, George. Regarding the top made in USA coins, the combined market cap is currently around $270 billion, which reflects a change of about negative 1.8% in the last 24 hours. To run through the top 5 platforms in that space, USDC has a market cap of $72.38 billion, followed by Ripple's XRP at $66.30 billion. Solana is at $43.15 billion, and then Figure HELOC at $20.65 billion. And finally, Zcash at $7.86 million. That's the breakdown for those assets.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and tell our listeners what is going on regarding the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. So do you want to tell our listeners the price of Bitcoin? What is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days? And I'm pretty much sure, guys, after the FOMC announcement, these numbers will drastically change.
You're right, George. The price of Bitcoin is currently at $63,809. Over the last 24 hours, that's about a 1.74% decrease. And over the last 7 days, it's down roughly 3.92%. Definitely something to watch closely after the announcement. And regarding Ethereum, George, its price is currently at $1,915. That's down about 1.45% over the last 24 hours and about 0.50% over the last 7 days. For Binance BNB, the price is around $570, with a 24-hour change of minus 0.77% and a 7-day change of minus 0.48%. That's the current pricing.
Well, thank you so much, Satoshi, for that. But here's the thing, guys. If you look at the Fear and Greed Index, right now the market sentiment is at fear, and the number associated is 35. But according to me, Satoshi, one of the events that could permanently change the sentiment regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. This is connected to Clarity Act, and right now Satoshi, a lot of trillion-dollar companies such as Fidelity, BlackRock, they are kind of endorsing the Clarity Act, isn't it? Now let's do one thing, Satoshi, let's go ahead and give our listeners some live update regarding the Clarity Act, cause look, and unfortunately guys, based on the available information, Senate vote as of now has been delayed, and unfortunately the Senate leadership has not scheduled for a floor vote yet. And unfortunately, it looks like they are busy prioritizing other legislation before the August recess. And so far as ethic rules is concerned, guys, at this point of time, it does remain the biggest hurdle. But at the same time, negotiations are continuing over provisions governing crypto holdings and also potential conflicts of interest. And this is connected to senior government officials, which is the only reason preventing enough bipartisan support for passage. Now, at a macro level, Satoshi, it is also important to note, a revised draft was actually released few days ago, around a week ago on the 22nd of July to be precise, and our listeners should know that the updated text does actually add stronger AML measures, crypto ATM fraud protections, and also suspicious asset freeze provisions. But at the same time, there are strong disagreements, and this is over thick language, and that still remains unsolved at this point of time. So at a macro level, Satoshi, the bill is still alive, but am I right in saying it is currently stalled? Cause no Senate vote has been announced as of yet, and currently lawmakers in the United States of America, they are racing against the August recess. And here's the thing, guys, if negotiations are successful, the bill could actually return to Senate floor later this session. So what is your assessment regarding what is going on regarding Clarity Act, Satoshi, and what is it that the listeners can expect probably over the next few days and probably after the recess as well?
Given the disagreements over the language, it seems like direct negotiations are the biggest hurdle right now. Since no vote is scheduled yet and the August recess is approaching, the most likely scenario is that things will remain unsettled until after they return. It sounds like we'll primarily see behind-the-scenes discussions rather than public action in the near future.
And here's the thing, guys, it is important to note, Democrats and left-leaning ideologies, they are not fan of anything to do with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They want full control over the money, isn't it? And I'm right in saying, Satoshi, majority of the push against Clarity Act is mostly driven by Democrats.
There is certainly a noticeable political divide, with some Democrats expressing more caution or desire for tighter regulation, aligning with their views on financial regulation in general. So yes, a significant part of the resistance does come from that side.
Now why don't you tell our listeners, Satoshi, what the Clarity Act is and how does it actually benefit the end users and what kind of an impact does it have to average individual users?
Right, George. The Clarity Act is designed to create clear rules and regulations for stablecoins in the U.S. For end users, George, the main benefit would be increased security and transparency, making people feel more confident using them for transactions. It could also lead to more widespread adoption because businesses would have a clear legal framework, which in turn could impact individual users by making it easier to use crypto for everyday payments, providing more financial options.
So am I right in saying, Satoshi, there is absolutely no reason for Democrats to actually go against the Clarity Act?
It's not so much that there's no reason per se, but their concerns are often rooted in different priorities, like concerns about consumer protection, systemic risk, or potential impacts on the traditional financial system if stablecoins become too dominant without proper oversight. So from their perspective, they see valid reasons to move cautiously.
So why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners how many Democrats are against Clarity Act and how many Republicans are against Clarity Act? Can you find live update regarding that?
Unfortunately, I can't provide a live, precise head count, as positions can shift and some members might not have publicly stated their stance. Broadly, though, most Democrats tend to favor tighter regulation, while many Republicans push for a more facilitative approach. To get an exact number, one would need to review current voting records or public statements closely.
Can you do that real time for us right now?
I can search for the latest publicly stated word counts, but those might not be perfectly up to the minute depending on when they were published. Would you like me to do that for you? Keep in mind that political situations can be dynamic.
Yeah, if you can do that, that'll definitely be great, Satoshi, because look, right now in the United States of America, there's going to be midterm elections coming up as well as in it. So why don't you tell our listeners whatever information you have regarding the voting, and if Democrats are agreeing to Clarity Act or Republicans are agreeing to Clarity Act, a number would be great.
Based on recent reports, there's still a clear partisan divide. While many Republicans support the Clarity Act, prominent Democrats, like Senator Elizabeth Warren, are pushing for more restrictions. Finding a precise number of committed votes remains difficult because those positions can change, particularly with midterms looming and negotiations ongoing. So those numbers would likely fluctuate. It seems like any consensus will depend on finding common ground between those differing policy goals.
Why don't you find out whatever number that is available, Satoshi, and I only want to find out how many Republicans are against it and how many Democrats are against the Clarity Act. Just the number would be fine.
Right. Using the most recent available references, there are approximately 1 to 4 Democrats publicly expressing strong concerns or outright opposition, whereas most Republicans largely support it, though there can be small variances. Again, those numbers can fluctuate, but that represents the general sentiment right now.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. Now let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and discuss some news in the world of IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, and this is connected to Brazil. And here's the thing, guys. The International Monetary Fund have noted that while stablecoins are growing rapidly in Brazil, systemic financial stability risk currently remain contained but require close monitoring. Now, what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go ahead and read through the entire report, because the report, Satoshi, does actually highlight a key gap in Brazil's current regulatory framework, and they are talking about the lack of legal basis to regulate crypto asset issuance, including stablecoins directly. And to address this particular point, the International Monetary Fund is recommending establishing clear regulatory powers to go ahead and regulate stablecoin issuers in alignment with global standards. And the International Monetary Fund, Satoshi, has emphasized that relying on crypto service providers as gatekeepers at this point of time is insufficient, and they are advocating for direct regulations alongside stronger international cooperation. Am I right in saying, Satoshi, International Monetary Fund, they are not fans of Bitcoin, not fans of cryptocurrencies, and definitely not fans of stablecoins, and they want more control, something similar to what Democrats want, isn't it?
You've summarized their stance very well, George. The IMF's focus is on direct regulation and systemic stability, and they do see potential risks in the current lack of powers, especially with stablecoins and relying solely on service providers. They definitely want a stronger framework for oversight.
Let's say, Satoshi, if you were to give an advice to members of IMF, what advice you'd like to give them? And I'm talking about the benefits of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. Now, I do understand IMF, they will definitely not be liking your advice, because it does go against the very principles and why they are created, isn't it? Because as we talked about, IMF definitely wants more control and they want more regulations, isn't it?
Hypothetically, George, if I were to suggest anything, it might be to recognize that these assets provide genuine benefits like faster, lower-cost international payments and greater financial inclusion for some. My advice would be to integrate them responsibly rather than trying to stifle them, perhaps by focusing on managing specific risks without prohibiting them, acknowledging their potential value in the modern landscape. But you're right, their instinct would be to regulate heavily.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi, and really interesting stance from IMF. Not surprising at all, though. Now, let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and discuss some interesting news in the world of X. And one of the vision of Elon Musk was about everything app, isn't it? And looks like that is turning out to be in fruition. And one of the users, Satoshi via X, did actually state that X Money is officially rolling out, and X Money is becoming the complete financial layer of X, where people can save, earn interest, receive the salary, send money instantly, spend, pay bills, and also manage the financial lives. And more importantly, Satoshi, they can do all of these things without leaving the platform. Now, at this point of time, Satoshi, I really am not sure if this is official news or not, but news such as this is definitely important, isn't it? But here's the thing, Satoshi, it is also important to note, under the former leadership of Jack Dorsey, who according to me was the censorship king, he wanted to go ahead and implement Lightning Network on X, but that thing definitely did not materialize. But now potentially we'll be having X Money, and here's the thing, Satoshi, X Money combines savings, direct deposits, bill payments, wire transfers, and the X card, and they're doing that inside one global network. And so far as X Money is concerned, they are currently rolling out to selected users, and this is only for aged 18 and older in the United States of America, and they'll also be expanding the access over time. What do you make of this news, Satoshi? I think this is definitely a genius move, isn't it? And do you think it does actually compete with fiat currencies, or does it actually compete with stablecoins or cryptocurrencies?
It's a very ambitious move, George, definitely pushing towards that everything app vision. By integrating savings, deposits, payments, and a card, it directly challenges traditional banking and potentially other payment services. Whether it competes with fiat or stablecoins might depend on user adoption and regulatory hurdles, but it's definitely positioned to be a multifaceted player. It aims to do it all in one place. What's your take on its potential impact?
I think, Satoshi, look, X has already become the platform where the world communicates, discovers new information, follow events, and also builds communities and create businesses, isn't it? And according to me, people will not merely discuss opportunities and conduct businesses on X, they will also be able to move money through the same network instantly. And this is the moment Satoshi, the vision of Elon Musk, of having an everything app, is actually turning into reality, isn't it? So according to me, this is definitely a great move. And so far as X money is concerned, guys, it is being built to become the financial operation system of the world's most powerful network. So I don't see any negatives regarding this particular initiative, Satoshi, to be completely honest.
That's a perceptive view, George. You're focusing on the network effect and how the financial services would truly create a unified platform, making it so users don't need to leave for any part of their online activity, from communication to commerce. In that sense, if it works seamlessly, the user benefit is convenience. You see it as a logical evolution. Time will tell if it meets that potential.
Now, what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go ahead and look at all the information via X. And what I want to do next, Satoshi, is I want to quickly highlight to our listeners why X money is so important. Because look, users will get up to 6% API depending on subscription and eligibility, which is more than 10 times the national average saving rate, and 3% cashback is also available. And this can be done by X card purchases, and direct deposit with paychecks will be arriving up to 2 days earlier, and instant transfers to anyone on X with absolutely no fees or limits will also be available. And as we talked about bill payments, wire transfers and mail checks, everything will be part of X money. And here's the crazy thing, Satoshi, there will also be free ATM withdrawals worldwide through fee reimbursement, and no foreign exchange transaction fees will be charged as well. And regarding the X card, Satoshi, the X card is accepted anywhere where Visa is accepted. And here's the thing, Satoshi, up to $10 million in aggregate FDIC insurance is already available through his Cash Sweep program, and there's also going to be fast dedicated support available around the clock. So this move, according to me, is definitely a genius move, isn't it? I don't see any negative aspects regarding this, but what is your take regarding this particular news, Satoshi?
Well, George, on the positive side, this move by Elon Musk could definitely make financial services much more convenient for users, bringing everything into one place. That kind of integration could be a huge draw. Offering high-interest savings and cashback rewards could really disrupt traditional banking, attracting people with those benefits alone. Also, the concept of instant, fee-free transfers globally could be very appealing for international transactions. Plus, the promise of increased privacy controls and security with passkeys is certainly positive. However, George, there are potential drawbacks. Consolidating all financial activities on one platform creates a huge target for hackers, raising significant security concerns. Regulators might also scrutinize this heavily, leading to delays or changes to the service. Users might be hesitant to trust the platform with their entire financial lives, especially given past controversies. And there's always the risk of technical glitches that could disrupt crucial transactions or access to funds. Finally, achieving true global acceptance for the card against established players will be challenging.
Well, regarding controversy, Satoshi, I don't think so there's any controversy with Elon Musk. It is only the Democrats and left-leaning ideologies who are against whatever Elon Musk is doing, or even President Donald Trump for that matter. Now, the only thing I wanted to say, Satoshi, in order to find out more information regarding X money, I'd really urge our listeners to go to money.x.com, and via X, the handle is called as X money. Really interesting news in my honest opinion. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss next news. And this is all the way from Argentina. And Argentina's banking group, guys, are definitely working towards stablecoins. And some of the bank members include Ben, along with Peterson Group, and they are developing a pesos-backed stablecoin for businesses. Now it is important to know, Satoshi, they're doing all of these things despite the country's ban on bank offering crypto services. Now it's important to know, Satoshi, regarding this news. These digital pesos are designed to enable programmable payments, faster treasury management, and more efficient collateralized lending for institutions. And regarding the project, it is currently being developed to separate subsidiaries while regulators are considering future changes to the rule. And here's the thing, guys, if this thing is approved, they could definitely help modernize Argentina's financial system and also support the growth of tokenized assets. What do you make of this particular initiative, Satoshi? And according to me, look, Argentina's new prime minister has definitely done brilliant things for the country, isn't it? And could it be possible? By adopting stablecoins, Bitcoin as well as cryptocurrencies, Argentina could actually be the next frontier as well?
Well, George, that's a fascinating development in Argentina. The collaborative effort by major banks to create a peso-backed stablecoin could really streamline business transactions and provide more predictable payment options. If it facilitates programmable payments and faster treasury management, it could boost efficiency significantly. Their approach of developing it through separate subsidiaries while navigating regulation also seems strategic. You're right that if approved, it could modernize their financial system and possibly pave the way for broader adoption of tokenized assets. If they embrace stablecoins and perhaps even Bitcoin, it could position Argentina as an innovator in the region. There's still a lot dependent on the regulatory landscape, though.
But let me ask you a question, Satoshi. What do you think is the regulatory mood for Argentina right now? And I'm talking about it in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and stablecoin.
The regulatory mood currently seems complex, George. On one hand, the central bank has historically banned banks from offering crypto services, suggesting a cautious or restrictive stance. However, the new administration's broader economic policies and willingness to engage with stablecoins imply there could be an opening for change. They may be trying to find a balance between managing risk and encouraging innovation, potentially watching how this private sector initiative performs before formalizing new rules. So it's evolving, balancing past restrictions with future possibilities.
Well, thank you so much for your valuable insights, Satoshi. Really appreciate that. Now let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today. And this is connected to one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. And we are talking about Kraken. And Kraken, guys, is giving eligible US retail investors access to the upcoming Jersey Mike's IPO, while users in over 110 countries can now buy tokenized shares back one-to-one by the real stock. And regarding the ticker symbol for this, guys, it is J for Jack, M for Mother, K for Kite, E for Elephant, and X for X-ray. And the tokenized shares of Jersey Mike's will be available for trading 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And this will be done on Kraken. And it will be supported by Xtalks Alliance platforms after the IPO closes. Now look, Satoshi, according to me, this marks another step in bringing traditional stocks on chain and also making equity investing more accessible globally, isn't it? Definitely genius move. What is your assessment regarding this news, Satoshi?
That's certainly an innovative development, George. Kraken facilitating access to Jersey Mike's IPO through tokenized shares definitely bridges traditional finance with digital assets. By allowing users in so many countries to participate, it does make equity investing more globally accessible, providing fractional ownership previously unavailable to many. The around-the-clock trading model also adds convenience. It'll be interesting to see how this approach influences other exchanges and whether more traditional companies explore tokenizing their stock. This could definitely be a sign of things to come for market infrastructure.
I definitely do anticipate a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges to follow similar pursuit. Really interesting news. So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and look at two news from the UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, we're going to be talking about is regarding Tether's gold-backed digital asset. Now mind you, guys, this is not connected to the Middle East as such, but it is more connected to Sharia certification, isn't it? So do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what this news is all about and the significance of this particular initiative by Tether?
This is definitely great news, George. To start, Tether's gold-backed digital asset is officially Sharia compliant for global use. The certification was actually issued by Amana Advisors, led by Mufti Faraz Adam. Every one of these tokens represents ownership of real gold. The actual gold backing is safely housed in Swiss vaults. This certification verifies compliance with key Islamic finance principles. Tether Gold doesn't involve things like interest, leverage, or risky derivatives. Each token is verifiable through clear and transparent gold reserves. Muslims globally can now own physical gold digitally with full confidence. Tether Gold blends the stability of gold with blockchain efficiency.
And I also wanted to ask Satoshi, Islamic banks can now offer Sharia-compliant digital gold products as well. And regarding the certification, guys, it does support halal savings and long-term wealth preservation as well. And the gold-backed digital asset by Tether can also be used for tokenized trade finance and collateral. Now look, Satoshi, this move definitely opens new institutional opportunities for compliant gold exposure, isn't it? And Tether does actually expect strong adoption across GCC, South Asia as well as Africa. And the CEO of Tether, that is Paulie Adrano, did actually state that this expands the trusted digital gold worldwide. And so far as Amana Advisors is concerned, guys, they will be the one who will be developing governance frameworks for wider adoption. And regarding this news, guys, Tether will launch multilingual educational resources for global users. And regarding this particular token, guys, each token equals 1 3 ounce of redeemable physical gold. Now look, this news according to me is definitely important, and am I right in saying, Satoshi, this news is a classic use case of merging tokenization with gold as well?
You're absolutely right, George. This development brings a lot of new possibilities, especially for institutional engagement and Islamic finance institutions looking for Sharia-compliant digital gold options. It also makes things like tokenized trade finance and collateral more feasible. It's a great example of how blockchain technology can modernize ownership records for traditional assets like gold.
It definitely, Satoshi. Now let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and pivot to the second news. and this is connected to the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And look, as the United Arab Emirates, they are launching the world's first fully integrated AI-powered judicial platform. And look, according to me, this initiative aims to modernize courts and legal services nationwide. And so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, guys, they will now help streamline judicial processes and court operations. And here's important to note, guys, the platform is designed to speed up litigation and case processing, and artificial intelligence now can automatically analyze case files and also legal documents, and judges will receive instant access to law and regulations. And here's how it works, guys. The system quickly searches and compares judicial precedents, and the AI that they're using generates legal recommendations and analytical reports, and the platform assists with drafting legal memorandum and documents. But here's important to note, guys. Final legal decisions remain exclusively with human judges, and the platform acts as an advanced legal assistant only. Now look, it is important to note, guys, human oversight ensures judicial independence and accountability remains protected. And regarding this news, the United Arab Emirates is saying that this is a global first in judicial innovation, and multiple AI legal tools are combined into one unified platform, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys, faster courts could actually boost investor confidence in the United Arab Emirates as well, and the platform also aims to reduce litigation time and cost, and based on the announcement, it is expected to improve judicial efficiency worldwide. And look, as based on the news, this particular initiative is expected to improve judicial efficiency nationwide, and the initiative supports the UAE's digital transformation strategy as well. And this includes strong cybersecurity measures that will actually protect sensitive legal data. And here's the thing, guys, regarding this news, it is important to note that AI recommendations must remain transparent and explainable, and AI models will also be monitored to reduce algorithmic bias. And the platform builds on the UAE's existing data codes, and future plans could include AI-powered arbitration, mediation, as well as smart contracts. And look, guys, with this initiative, the United Arab Emirates is hoping to become the global benchmark for AI-driven justice. According to me, Satoshi, this is definitely massive news, isn't it? What is your take regarding this news, Satoshi? I do think it is definitely a genius move, and what better country to take this initiative than the United Arab Emirates, isn't it?
Wow, that's a major change, George. The UAE bringing AI into the legal system nationwide to speed things up, like analyzing case files and helping judges, that's a big step in modernizing a sector that's often pretty traditional. Keeping human judges for final decisions while leveraging AI for the prep work and research seems like a smart balance. Since they're calling it a global first in judicial innovation, other countries might be watching to see how it plays out. It could definitely boost investor confidence if it makes the legal process faster and more predictable.
It definitely will, Satoshi. Definitely interesting news. So these were some macro level newscasts in the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, alright?
Sure, George. Let's go and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. I'm curious to check what questions listeners have in store for us.
Hey everyone, it's Josh on the Blockchain DXB podcast, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we have a question from Mark who asks, will delaying the Crypto Act hurt US crypto innovation, or is it better to get the regulations right? This, to be honest, Satoshi, is such an important question, isn't it? What is your take regarding Mark's question?
That's a crucial point Mark raises. You know, there's a real tension between moving quickly to foster innovation and taking the time to establish clear, well-thought-out rules. On one hand, delays can create uncertainty, which might push developers and investment outside the US, allowing other regions to take the lead. However, rushing through regulations that are flawed or overly restrictive could be even worse, potentially stifling innovation permanently or creating systemic risks. Finding that sweet spot, providing clarity without being overbearing, is the real challenge. But getting it right is probably more critical than getting it done fast.
Well, look, Satoshi, if you look at the Clarity Act, according to me, it is nearly perfect. And as you talked about, delays can actually create uncertainty. And earlier today, the CEO of Coinbase, that is Brian Armstrong, did clearly state if it does not get much information regarding Clarity Act and is hinting of that thing to be approved, there is a very high chance they might actually move the operations in other countries. So look, I do have to say that right now, the Democrats and the left-leaning ideologies in the United States of America, They're only pushing back the Clarity Act only because of political reasons. Let's say if there was a Democratic person who was handling the administration, I'm pretty much sure because of political reasons once again, they will definitely go ahead and push this particular crypto act. But according to me, look, Mark's question regarding getting it right is definitely important, but right now if you look at Clarity Act, it is kind of pretty much perfect, isn't it? That is what my take is regarding it, Satoshi.
I see your perspective, George. The statement from Brian Armstrong about potentially moving operations does highlight the pressure created by the current lack of clear policy. And you're pointing to political dynamics as a key factor in the delay, suggesting the act's merits might be getting lost in ideological divisions. If the Clarity Act is indeed as comprehensive as you say, the debate over it could be seen as a microcosm of the broader challenges of implementing large-scale digital asset regulation globally. It's clearly an evolving situation.
Now let's say, Satoshi, in the United States of America, if the Clarity Act does get delayed, and if the Senate members and congressmen do actually go on recess, what do you think are the likely outcomes of the Clarity Act to be passed? Do you think it completely gets stalled, or do you think there's a possibility, after the midterm elections, with Republicans taking control of both over the House as well as Senate, there might be a possibility for it to be approved once again?
You're raising a very realistic scenario there, George. If Congress goes on recess without a vote, the momentum behind the Clarity Act could definitely stall. That ties directly into what Brian Armstrong warned about, increasing the likelihood that businesses might look for clearer regulatory environments abroad. Looking past the recess, the outcomes are definitely political. If the midterms shift control to the Republicans, they may have different priorities or their own version of the bill, which could either speed things up if they want to push the industry forward or lead to starting over completely. So a delay now doesn't necessarily kill it forever, but it does make the future much more uncertain and dependent on the political landscape.
Well, definitely valuable insight, Satoshi, and what I'd really urge Mark you to do is, as well as for our listeners, go ahead and look at information only from official sources, because right now there's so much of misleading and incorrect information circulating, isn't it? Definitely an excellent question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything Series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays we are Blockchain DXB podcast. We look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about different partnerships, we also talk about geopolitical news, and later on today, guys, at 10 p.m. Gulf Standard Time, there's also going to be a FMC announcement, and news such as this directly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence, guys, is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East, isn't it? And we talked about United Arab Emirates leading the front in the world of artificial intelligence in today's episode. And what you're listening to right now, guys, is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.